Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Dave.
And join us every Thursday for a new episode of Two Player Bros, a podcast about two guys who play way too many video games. Join me and Dave as we talk about the latest in Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and VR news, previews, and reviews. We have it all, and we play it all.
And join us every other week for Post Game, where we play through and dive deep into our favorite modern classics and new releases.
That's Two Player Bros, available every Thursday wherever you get your podcast, part of the Forgotten Entertainment family.
Have those Marvel blues while Black Widow's theatrical release date is consistently delayed? Well, turn that frown upside down, because yet another MCU podcast is here to guide you through the MCU one movie at a time.
That's right, Mike. Each episode we break down one movie from the MCU and talk about its connections with the source material, comic books.
Which means I get to learn so many fascinating things, like about Alpha Flight,
The Canadian Avengers.
Who Knew, and Moon Knight.
A multiple personality superhero.
Seriously? And then there's Man-Thing.
Yeah, not really sure how to explain that one.
Pretty sure no one can. Yet another MCU podcast, part of the Forgotten Entertainment family.
Ladies and gentlemen, please notice that exits are conveniently located at the front and rear of this auditorium. When leaving the theater, we suggest that the exit at the front of the auditorium will allow you easier access to the parking areas. Thank you.
Boom!
I guess I like sports movies!
Yeah, like real creepy like. Did you notice him with his pants down?
Oh, with his pants down?
Yeah.
I just noticed somebody was there.
Yeah. No, his pants are down.
He's taking it down?
And I'm thinking to myself, I want to do the secret cabal stuff. I don't want to just go and drink.
You still got to wear a cloak and stuff.
No. I want the real cabal stuff. Like I want the stuff where we're controlling the world.
I want the signet ring.
You know what? Screw that. Well, hey there. I'm Mike Field.
Yeah, I'm Mike Butler.
And you're listening to the Forgotten Cinema Podcast. Each episode, we highlight a film that, for a variety of reasons, was forgotten by audiences. Whether it's because a more popular movie was released at the same time, or the movie simply didn't catch on with an audience in its initial run. We'll discuss what we love about the movie, or perhaps don't love about it, but we'll always recommend you revisit it. If you enjoy our podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to this podcast right this second.
Woo-hoo!
Adding the who to the woo does not change that.
It's a woo.
Correct. Mr. Butler, what are we doing today?
We're recording a podcast. You're right here. You're
correct.
We're doing it.
All right, smartass. What movie are we talking about today?
We are talking about D.O.A. Came out in 1988.
You were the synopsis guy, not the fact
Here
guy.
we go. I need to specify this the 1998.
You need to understand your place. The next sound you'll be hearing is my open hand across Butler's cheek. His face cheek. I'm done.
It's not that kind of podcast.
Well, I mean, for the ratings, it could be.
For money.
That's all. It's all. Wow. We will sell out for a lot. We will sell out for a little.
Dexter Cornell, an English professor, becomes embroiled in a series of murders involving people around him. Dexter has good reason to want to find the murderer, but hasn't much time. He finds help and comfort from one of his students, Sidney Fuller. That fucking blows.
Whoa. They dropped an F-bomb in the synopsis?
No, that synopsis. Hold on.
All right.
A college professor's day. His top student allegedly commits suicide. His wife presents him with divorce papers, and he overnights in a freshman's girls' dorm. The next day, more murders around him. Will he find the killer in time? Is nothing going to mention that he's poisoned and has 24 hours to live? Oh,
Correct.
my God. Come on. All right.
Bad synopsis.
Both of them.
All right.
I'm done.
Moving on. So D.O.A. Came out on March 18th, 1988, as Butler said before. It's a runtime of 96 minutes, rated R. I could not find a production budget anywhere, so
Woo.
I don't know what's up with that.
25 million. I don't
You're guessing?
know. I'm guessing.
All right. But honestly, it's probably, I would assume it's 20 to 30.
Yeah.
So that's probably right. Opening weekend was 3.7 million. Domestic and worldwide are the same, so I don't believe it had an international release, and its total was 12.7 million. So yeah, who knows? I really don't think it did well in the box office in terms of against its budget. Production company is Touchstone Pictures and Silver Screen Partners 3, distributed by Buena Vista Pictures. So it's a Disney movie, but it's, Touchstone, Buena Vista, all that.
It's adult Disney.
It's adult Disney.
Touchstone. Disney doesn't want their name.
Was Tombstone Buena Vista or Touchstone? The Kurt Russell one?
Oh, I don't
know why
specifically.
I don't know why it's in my
remember,
head. Anyways, no, I think because Touchstone does decent movies. I don't know.
Oh yeah. No, I have nothing against Touchdown. It's just that when Disney doesn't want their family-friendly name on it,
I got you.
they
I
go,
got you.
"It's Touchdown."
Right. So March 18th, you had it up against Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach. That is the one for everyone out there who doesn't know. That is the one when they put the suntan lotion on his chest and it says dork. And everyone's like, hey, dork. Hey, dork. You don't remember that?
I don't think I've seen Police Academy 5.
Have you seen any of them?
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
probably the
yeah.
first 3 or 4. I've probably seen all the way up to 4.
There's more than 5. I know that.
Yeah.
But 5 doesn't have Mahoney. 5 has his cousin or something. Or
Then I have not. Yeah,
5 has Lloyd Braun from Seinfeld as the main guy.
I've only ever seen him with Mahoney. Yeah.
Okay. You also had in a limited release Little Nikita and the Milagro Beanfield War, which is a very good movie. I recommend it. March 11th, the week before, you had Off Limits, Vice Versa, and Masquerade. Sound familiar? Any of those sound familiar? Vice Versa should sound
Vice
familiar.
Versa
Judge
sounds,
Reinhold.
yeah,
It's when him and Fred Savage switched bodies.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And then you had a limited release, Stand and Deliver. Have you ever seen Stand and Deliver with Edward James Olmos?
I have seen parts of Stand and
Very good movie. Very, very good movie. I think I saw that in school. That's how I remember seeing it. It's very much like a movie would show kids in school and high school and whatnot. Although I wasn't in high school in 88. March 25th, the week after this movie came out, D.O.A., you had Biloxi Blues. That's the Matthew Broderick movie. Johnny B. Good with Anthony Michael Hall and A New Life. And then in the re-release, you had The Fox and the Hound. So I'm going to say right off the bat, there's not, I guess Police Academy 5 is probably an anticipated movie. Aside, maybe Vice Versa. Nothing really like that jumps out here I can understand people back in 88 going, oh, I can't wait for the new movie. Especially Biloxi Blues, because that was when Broderick started doing a little bit. This is past Ferris Bueller's Day Off and kind of started doing a little bit more adult movies, I guess, if you want to say, for lack of a better term.
He's growing up.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So this is directed by 2 people. It is a husband-wife team, Annabelle Jankel and Rocky Morton. Butler, do you know what they directed right before this? I mean, you should know this because it's a movie that is based on a video game in the 80s.
The Mario? No, that's
Super Mario Brothers.
But that's a 90s movie.
No, well, what's this one I'm doing here? Ooh, mate, you're right.
Mario Brothers came out in 93.
Well, maybe it was one after it then. Maybe
They did Max Headroom.
They did Max Headroom, but they also did a bunch of music videos, but they are more, I believe they got this gig, or maybe they got, the attention of Hollywood
Right.
from their creation of the Max Headroom TV show, or a TV show. Yeah.
TV, yeah.
Movie show, whatever.
It was a TV movie and then it became a series.
Right.
after that.
Right. All right. So the screenplay and story critic, he wrote the screenplay, is Charles Edward Pogue. He did Psycho 3, The Fly, Dragonheart, and Cull the Conqueror. That is
Yeah, Dragonheart also has Dennis Quaid.
correct. What I was going to say was Cull the Conqueror is I don't know if it's his favorite movie, but it's a movie that my friend Adrian always talks about. So
I really like Cull the Conqueror as well.
I have never seen it.
You would not.
There's some movies I've never seen.
You would not like it. I would like to put it on.
Oh,
the Forgotten
I would
Cinema
not
list.
like it.
Mm.
All right, whatever, man. You don't want.
We'll put it on-
you don't
we'll
want
put it
any
on
of the heat. You don't want this heat for. Cull
Oh,
the
I'll take
Conqueror?
that heat. We'll go. We'll go. I'm putting it on the list right now.
All right. It's an adaptation of an older film from the 40s called D.O.A. So the 2 writers of that movie got an original story credit on this movie. That is Russell Rouse and Clarence Green. They won an Oscar for Pillow Talk. They also did The Well, The Thief, and a TV show Tightrope. All right, cinematography by Yuri Naiman. He has done Liquid Sky, Ginger Ale Afternoon, which I kind of like the name of that, and Civil Brand. Composer Chaz Jankel. Obviously, I'm going to assume it's some relation to Annabelle Jankel and maybe Rocky Moore. Maybe it's a brother, cousin,
Nepotism,
friend.
man.
Nepotism hire, whatever. That's how it's done. He is known for The Real Genius, The Fan, Wolf of Wall Street. He's known for these movies because he has written songs that were appeared in these movies.
Mhm.
I don't think I could find any other movie that he composed, actually. Edited by Raja Gosnell. I think I said that right. He has edited Pretty Woman, Rookie of the Year, but he's also the director of the Scooby-Doo show movie that came out in early 2000s, the Tumo, Never Been Kissed. He's a director now, basically, but he started as an editor.
I do like those 2 Scooby-Doo movies.
Also edited by Michael R. Miller. You like both those Scooby-Doo movies?
The second one's kind of more slapsticky, definitely more for kids.
Well,
The first one
Scrappy-Doo?
has a lot of. The first one's scrappy.
They're definitely for kids.
Yeah.
The second one's got Scrappy-Doo.
No, the first one's Scrappy. And then
Well-
you find out that Scrappy went to the island and messed with them, and because they kicked him out.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Yeah, they're definitely for kids.
They are, but they've got the first one has more stuff for adults that they can appreciate.
I guess. Yeah,
The second one is definitely straight up it's kids, but I still like it.
I got you. Well, because you're a kid.
I'm
Your child.
I'm a big man child.
Edited by the other editor is Michael R. Miller. He's done Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing, which I love, and Ghost World, and With Honors. Do you remember With Honors? The Joe Pesci's a bum and Brendan Fraser is like, they're like all.
I know
Maura
of it, but
Kelly,
I've never seen it. Yeah.
It's, you know what's funny is I watched that. This is like an early 90s movie. I think it's early, maybe mid 90s. And I remember liking it, but like when I think back, I keep thinking, I don't know if that's a good movie. I don't know if I should like that movie so much. I have to go back to it. Because when you're younger and you watch these movies, you get easily fooled by melodrama, I think.
Oh, yeah. And you're like, oh, that's so serious. That's so good.
For some reason, I keep thinking it's very melodramatic. I kind of want to go back there. But Miller does a lot of Coen Brothers movies. And one of my absolute favorite Coen Brothers movies that nobody ever talks about is Miller's Crossing. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, you talk about it all the time.
Because it's awesome. Produced by Laura Ziskin and Ian Sander. I believe they're a producing team. Sander has also produced the Ghost Whisperer TV show and Everybody's All American. That actually also stars Dennis Quaid. He passed away in 2016. And Laura Ziskin, who passed away in 2011, has done No Way Out, What About Bob, To Die For, and the Raimi Spider-Mans. So a pretty good filmography, if you will. Yeah. So you had Dennis Quaid as Dexter Cornell, as Butler said. Then Mr. Quaid has been in Breaking Away, Jaws 3D, The Right Stuff, Dreamscape, Frequency, which we love, Inner Space, Great Balls of Fire, Wyatt Earp, Switchback, which I think we should put on the list. And he's in the upcoming Reagan. He plays Ronald Reagan in the Reagan movie.
Oh, I saw that. Dennis Quaid's really good.
Yeah. Sydney Fuller is Meg Ryan. She is in When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, and In the Land of the Women. Now, this is the second film that Quaid and Ryan do because they were both in Inner Space. And also this movie has the, I guess, luxury of being the movie where they fell in love and they got married, right?
So Russell Crowe came in and ruined it all.
All right. That's not what this podcast is
Drama,
about.
man.
Hal Petersham is Daniel Stern. Daniel Stern is from City Slickers 1 and 2. He's also in Home Alone. He plays one of the Wet Bandits. He is the narrator for the Wonder Years TV show, and he's in a movie called Whip It that was directed by, what's her name? Drew Barrymore. Did you see that?
No.
That's a good one. It's about, takes place in Texas, and I want to say either 80, maybe the 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s. It's about roller derby. It's actually pretty good. I liked it. It's a nice coming of age movie. Gail Cornell is Jane Kaczmarek, or Jane Kaczmarek is Gail Cornell, excuse me. Everyone probably knows Jane Kaczmarek from Malcolm in the Middle of the TV show. She was the mother, but she was also in Parker Lewis Can't Lose, which I remember. And she's the mother in Pleasantville, the one that is their mother in real life, not in anything in Pleasantville.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, she's the one, she's crying and he gives her the tissues.
Yeah.
Christopher Neame plays Bernard. Do you remember him from License to Kill? He's one of the bad guys in License to Kill.
Yeah, of course.
He's also in that's his biggest credit, but if he's very familiar to you in terms of like his face, it's because he's been in countless TV shows throughout the 70s and 90s, just littered. So I've probably seen him on some of your shows.
We need a British bad guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get me Christopher Neame.
Robin Johnson is Cookie Fitzwaring. She's in the TV show Codename Foxfire and the movie After Hours. And you have a couple of people in here that are, like Robert Knepper, a young Robert Knepper, plays Nick Lang. He's probably claimed to fame is where he kind of like heated up was the TV show Prison Break, I would think. And then maybe the TV show Heroes. Those are the two.
Yeah.
One was before the other, obviously. He's also in the movie Phantoms and Good Night and Good Luck, which is a really good movie.
Yes, it is.
Mrs. Fitzwaring, Charlotte Rampling is Mrs. Fitzwaring. She's nominated for an Oscar for 45 Years, which is recent. She's also in The Verdict, which is a fantastic film, Swimming Pool, and she's in the upcoming Dune movie that's going to come out now in 2021, hopefully. You had Brian James as Detective Ulmer. The two detectives I wanted to put in here because these guys are also familiar. Brian James is in The Fifth Element. He's in Blade Runner. He's also in Tango and Cash. He is a definite prominent actor throughout the 80s and 90s in terms of the big action movies, bad guy role.
Yeah.
He looks very familiar. He passed away in 99. And then Jack Kehoe, who plays Detective Brockton, who passed away actually this year. He's in The Sting. He plays the guy in The Sting that is nervous. I don't know if you remember The Sting, but the guy's always nervous about doing the gig, and he does the nose at the end or towards the big. That he's in that. He's in Serpico, Midnight Run, and he's also in The Star Chamber, which is a movie we did in season 1.
It was 1. Wow.
I think it's episode 7.
Yeah.
Nice. And then, did you notice John Hawkes? Did you see John Hawkes as a sleeping student?
No.
Yeah. So John Hawkes from the TV show Deadwood and more recently Peanut Butter Falcon, but he's a big time character actor. As soon as he's sleeping, I'm like, that guy looks familiar. Who is that? So, all right. So Butler kind of hinted at me that he hated this movie. before we started the show. So
Butler, what do you think about this movie?
I'm not going to ask him that. I'm not going to ask him because he already told me he hates it. But I've talked enough. It's time for you to talk. So I guess why don't you give me your biggest complaint about the movie? Let's do that.
Ooh, the biggest complaint.
Or the one that stands out, or
it's so haphazardly done, or the story is so haphazard. It's just a bunch of moments. It's not a cohesive. I didn't think it was a cohesive story. And I think that was my biggest complaint. Things just kind of happened from place to place, and he just appears in places. It felt very disjointed to me.
okay.
And not in like a good way.
So you didn't get your
I
synopsis
got
kind
the
of
story,
your synopsis sucked, as you admitted, the one you read.
Yeah.
So
The two I read. I mean, the story is supposed to be he's poisoned,
right.
and he has to figure out who poisoned. He's trying to figure out who poisoned him.
Well, that doesn't how it starts. It's right. He's a professor.
He's a professor.
Right.
His best student. He's a professor that's kind of demoralized. He's kind of just going through the motions. And his best student has given him a book, and he refuses to read it.
It's
And that
his
student
final
kills himself.
project.
Right.
Well, he doesn't. Yeah, I don't know what. Well, that's the intention. You think that he kills himself. He gives him his manuscript, and he doesn't want to review it, or he's too late. He doesn't want to do it. He's
too late. He's too
lazy. He's just
disenfranchised.
yeah, exactly. So he just up gives it an A, which I like that scene when he's staring out the window. He's giving it the A, and he's just sitting at the desk, and then the window breaks because Nick just jumped.
Hits it.
Yeah, I actually like that scene. You didn't like that scene when the kid jumps?
There are like certain like bits and scenes that I like, but yeah, it's just the movie overall I didn't like.
Well, did you? So
I can't say I didn't hate this movie. I just didn't like this movie.
Interesting. Well, you don't like how it starts, black and white.
I do like how it starts. I like that black and white noir thing. Him talking to the cops. Then I like to change the color. I like the scene in the classroom. Like he seems like, even though he's disenfranchised, he's still like seems like he's a good professor. He's a professor everybody likes.
Right. He's not your
strong.
He's not the professor where you meet his counterpart who they kind of have a fight with. He wants tenure, but he supports Daniel Stern's character for tenure. What's Stern's character's name again?
Hal.
This other professor's like, oh, how could you do him? And they have this huge fight where he's like, I published 5 times and I published once, like all this. And they're like,
yeah, some people just want to be good teachers. Some people aren't
right,
writers.
right. And so he's the antithesis of Dexter's character, which Dexter is obviously just somebody who just kind of he got tenure because he wrote books, and
right.
He's
He's 4-time published.
Yeah, 5 times.
5 times published. Never made his other book.
Yeah,
and he's just kind of this is his job, but he'd rather write, but he can't write and hasn't written.
And he says that later on in the movie. Not that he says he just didn't want to do it anymore. Not that he was stuck.
Right.
He just lost interest.
He just basically he lost interest in life essentially.
Yeah, yeah. He says that to Sidney Fuller, Meg Ryan's character. Yeah. The one thing I'll say is I'm not a huge fan of starting it off in black and white. I think it looks great. I actually like the titles, and I was okay with the guitar riff that they had because they start. I wish I watched the older movie because I want to say I believe that's the older theme from the movie, and then it turns into like the 80s guitar version.
80s, yeah.
But I liked the credits. I liked how they were like pushed off the screen, and I liked how it started. I just don't know if I like the black and white the black and white bookend, because what they do in the movie is when they go to color throughout the movie till the end, they slowly drain the film of color as it gets to the end, as he's dying, as he's fading, if the poison's working. And I almost would have liked that without the bookend. I almost would have liked it just better, just the start with the color, start like
right.
and slowly get to the black and white.
But I mean, even the black and white is the end.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the book ending black and white. I am a fan of the black and white. Don't know if I wonder if it would be more effective without the first part. That's all.
Oh, maybe.
That's all.
I really like how they go from black and white to color, though. I like that it starts with the chalkboard on the classroom, so you still get black and white, and then his hands in frame, and you're like, oh, okay, now it's color. I enjoyed that. I thought that was a good choice.
Yeah.
And then it's all off the rails after that.
It's not off. I see. I mean, did you figure out who the bad guy was? Did you figure out who? No,
not really.
And that didn't. We just did the Negotiator,
right?
And in the Negotiator, we talk about how what's a big key in the movie is that is the mystery. You don't know who's the bad guy. You don't know
yeah,
who the
you
dirty
want to know
cops
which
in that
one of
movie.
those
Right.
cops are setting
So,
you up.
but in this movie, you don't. They do a really good job of kind of hiding it.
They do in a way that it just kind of comes out of nowhere. And it just all seems so like, all right. Hal's motivation for murder is just insane to me. And it's like, I get he's a murderer. It's supposed
Publisher
to be insane,
perish,
but
yo.
it's just too much. And like, he's killing Dennis Quaid. Why? He knows he didn't read the script.
He
knows
didn't
threw it in the
know.
garbage.
See, that's the thing. He says to him at the end that if you just told me that you didn't read the
he wouldn't
the
have given-
manuscript.
Oh, because he's already drinking when he throws
right.
it in the garbage. Okay.
He doesn't even know.
He
And
didn't
so
know until it was too late. He
right.
took the
And
sip.
so that was the one thing he said to him. And the only reason he kills his wife is because he saw the manuscript he left it at her house.
At the house, right.
Right. So I just thought that,
it's still like, come on, for a book. Which is what Dennis Quaid says at the end too. Dexter says, "All this for a book,"
which I like that line. I like the ending line.
but it's just I
For
don't
somebody's homework. That's all. That's the
Yeah.
line at the end, which I like.
Everything else is just like all the stuff with Lang and Cookie and the wife is just like, this is
The Fitzwaring stuff.
it's just like I don't care. And then I do like when he
Hold up.
What?
Hold up. Are you gonna pull a Rango on me? How you just don't care? Is this what this is?
no. It's not that I don't
Go ahead.
care about what I'm watching. It's just like it didn't make me feel nothing. It's just I didn't like Cookie gets shot, which I love that shot when Bernard shoots Cookie in the head
Yeah.
straight through just because he's freaking out and then he's like, oh, what did I do?
Yeah.
I thought that scene was like pretty funny, but it's just kind of it's just so weird. I don't know.
The Fitzwaring stuff is a little.
It's too melodramatic.
I don't know
think,
why
to me.
it's almost like if that Fitzwaring stuff is not in there, this movie is probably only 30 minutes. If it's just the Cornell stuff,
right?
And because the Fitzwaring stuff has nothing to do with any of the reasoning behind Dexter being poisoned or the reasoning behind just anything to do with that plot at all.
It's just filler stuff, and it's
Right.
this melodramatic filler that's in the middle of the thing. It's just kind of like, all right.
There probably should have been I take it back because the Nick Lane character was somebody that
His father had killed
his father was a thief that. Well, this is the story in the beginning. His father was a thief that broke into the Fitzwaring's house and murdered her husband.
right.
And then he died. He was killed.
Mhm.
And so she felt bad. So she put Nick through school for free.
Right.
But then what you find out is that Nick it wasn't a thief. It was Nick's father. It was her first husband, who I guess the other husband didn't know about.
Right.
Nick's dad demanding blackmailing, demanding more money or something like that.
Yes.
And then there was a fight, and she shot them. She shot them both.
She shot them both. Yeah.
Yeah.
She shot her husband first, and then she shot Nick's dad,
Right.
and then Bernard
Right.
came in and covered it all up.
Right. Because she shot because the father was like, I don't care. I'm not going to take care of him. I don't,
And and you get out. She was gonna kick him out.
So
too.
she shoots both of them, and Bernard, obviously, who has an affection for her, takes care of and hides it.
Right.
But it again, yeah, you're right. That's kind of like
And Cookie's all into Nick, but then she doesn't want her to be with Nick because they're half
but it's
brother and
well,
sister.
they already were together.
They were together. Yeah. and she
Yeah,
wants
yeah.
to stop that
Yeah.
because they're half brother
It
and
would,
sister.
but see, I like the Fitzwaring, that whole plot line. I enjoy on its own.
As its own movie, yeah.
Yes. I think that there probably needs to be a better way to connect Dexter Cornell's story arc within that. That's all. They both work. I think they both work well on their own. It's just they tried to push them together. And again, I wish I watched the first movie because I'm wondering how it worked in that movie, if they did that. But I agree with you. It's a little. They're both interesting, but together they're both kind of like they're fighting with each other.
Well, I'm
almost.
watching it.
The
I'm also
storylines.
saying, clearly they didn't poison you, man. They got nothing to do with you.
Right.
You should only be looking at the people that actually are connected to you.
Right.
It's like that stuff doesn't connect at all.
But
other
that's-
than the fact that his wife Gail had an affair with Nick at some point. That's the only thing that really connects them at all.
But that's the whole idea of like a classic detective noir which is noir.
Oh, sure. All the
Is-
false ends and
What is that it's never the one thing that is right in front of you the whole time. That's the reason for your demise or for the murder
right.
that, but you discover it later on. So that's kind of like a noir style detective. Yeah, exactly. A staple.
Yeah.
So I understand why that misdirection is played. I just think I would have liked a little bit more of a connective tissue between the two stories. That's all, but there's a moment in the movie where they have that nail gun fight where I didn't understand. That seemed a little like, why are we doing this? Like,
To add
why?
some action into it, I guess.
Yeah. And it was a lot of close-ups. Like everything was a close-up.
It was very hard to see what was going on
Yeah.
and where the hand really was.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if that was not a reshoot, but just kind of like, oh, let's do this. Let's add this in. I didn't read anything. Like that. It feels like a scene like, oh, we put this scene, but we don't want to show. It's obviously supposed to be Hal.
Yeah.
But we don't want to show anything. Let's just kind of, we'll play it this way. And just the hand, just the nail gun, just them running. And we'll kind of do a bunch of stuff. And
It'll look good. It'll look good.
yeah. Now, that's,
It's a reason for Sydney and Dexter to disconnect on their arm and have her leave.
oh, right. Cause he super glues his
Glues his hand to her.
Yeah, no, that was gross.
And
He's
then
like,
it
"No, you
rips
can't
off.
go." Yeah, no. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Look at your arm." Like, you did that.
Yeah.
I really love the answering machine. Two things. I really love how old the answering machine is, but I also love that it's an answering machine exposition. Like, I just love that it turns on. It's just like, all right, let's find out about the story through the answering machine message. I always like that part, and I also enjoyed when he goes, he doesn't feel well. He wakes up, he's like, this isn't a hangover. And he's realized he's poisoned or he's sick or something. He goes to the hospital, meets his friend who is Hal's wife. And she does
Is it Hal's wife or just his girlfriend?
I thought they were married.
Well, I think it's just somebody he's been fooling around with. Like, it's a serious thing, but
all right, whatever. Well,
Yeah.
regardless,
Yeah.
his significant other. And she's like, well, can I find out this blood work? And there's about like a 2-minute blood
the
work
montage.
montage music scene. And it's like this do blood mix up. It's like, okay, we get
Gotta
it.
make this blood
And it kind
turn
of
super green.
centrifuge, and then they're like centrifuge. Okay, let's clean these slides. Why are you showing me the slides being cleaned? Like, so it's just funny. I
like how green, like it turns such a fluorescent green, and then
That's-
he's looking in his cup at the end, and that's also fluorescent.
but that's
green.
legit. That's what. So radium chloride is what he's poisoned with.
Is actually that.
and
kinda-
radium chloride has a fluorescent bluish green hue, specifically also when heated up. So I mean, maybe not so much when you saw it, but yes, it's supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then that makes sense in his glass then, because it's super hot outside.
Right.
So it's been sitting in the heat in his
Yeah.
office. Okay.
No, yeah, that's.
So I thought
looked
that was
up.
convenient because he looks in his glass and all of a sudden the poison's green.
Well, I wanted to look at radium chloride because I wanted to really see, like, okay, like, is this something that people poison it? But it's like irradium. It's like, obviously, like, it's slow irradium poisoning kind of
right.
thing.
Yeah.
The fact that it's in his system for so long, like she tells him, like, it's been in your system for 12 hours. There's nothing
It's
we
too
can
late,
do now.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is so like heartbreaking. It's like,
I do like that he doesn't like conveniently find an antidote at any point in the movie.
right.
I do like that when he's walking down that hallway in the police station at the end.
He's just resigned his fate.
He's
Yeah.
walking to his death.
I think he's given up. The whole point is that he's given up on life, and he's like, it's too late now. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wanted to figure out who did it.
Right. Right.
He figured it out, and it's all because of somebody's homework. He's dead because of a homework assignment.
I love I like that line for somebody's homework. That's all. I was just like, I like that line.
Did you like Meg Ryan?
I did. She's 26 to 27 in this movie, and
27, playing a
she's
college
playing,
freshman.
and she played, but she looks young. So
Right.
you know,
Maybe it's not Meg Ryan. Do you like her? Do you like the character of Sydney?
it's not. That's what I was just gonna say. Her character has nothing to do with her performance. It has everything to do with the way she's written. And why is she involved? Like, she's clearly smitten with him, and in the beginning, and
Yeah.
she's a fan, and she's smitten, and she wants to be with him. Which the ease that the characters have with breaking ethics and having sex with college kids when they're adults. Like, his wife is with Nick for a little bit, you find out.
Right.
She even tells him, oh, finally a pulse, somebody go to the, like, and she even knows it's someone in the freshman dorm or something like that.
Yeah.
That like, she's just like anything, like, she's okay with it. It's like there's no code of ethics at this Texas college.
Well, Dex isn't in on that. He was like, I'm probably the only college professor who hasn't slept.
He says that.
And when he wakes up in Sydney's dorm, he's like,
he's upset.
He's mad at himself. Yeah. And then she tells him, he didn't do anything. He just passed out.
Right. But then, of course, they get him together towards the end.
Right. Well, you're going to die. You might as well.
She doesn't really have anything to do in this movie.
She's just so into him. And then as soon as he glues himself to her and is like, we're going to solve this case. Let's go somewhere that has nothing to do with you. It's like, why are you dragging her around?
Right.
Now all of a sudden, she didn't do it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just billed as like, and on the Blu-ray you gave me, because good luck trying to find this.
Oh, you can't. You can't find it anywhere streaming. I had to buy it, which is fine. I don't hate it as Butler hates it.
I watched the trailer for this movie that's on the Blu-ray, and it's like they bill it as this exciting thriller where the whole movie is him glued to Meg Ryan.
Well, that's what that
These
sells.
two need to find the case of how he got poisoned.
Yeah.
And blah, blah. And she's like, duh, duh, duh. And it's just like every scene that they're running in together. That's the entire trailer.
The two female characters that have the most interesting backstory or story is his ex-wife.
Who gets murdered way too quick.
Yeah. Just, you don't get to know her too much. And is Mrs. Fitzwaring is Charlotte Rampling's character. And the fact that Charlotte Rampling is playing that character is another reason why, I would want more of that. And the daughter, the Cookie, maybe take her character and Sydney and make them one. And that's how you connect.
They're connected, right?
And make them one character and make him involved in that way and make it more, for the lack of a better term, in terms of the two stories, incestuous with each other. That would be a lot easier. Because right now you have two female roles here, Cookie and Sydney, that are just lay on the table and do nothing, for the lack of a better term. There's nothing for any of the actresses to do with those two characters.
Cookie gets to go crazy and steal the car and hit Bernard. And
whatever.
Throw him into a tar pit.
And then get shot in the head.
Yeah.
And they all go in the tar pit. It's convenient.
Yeah. Conveniently. Now there's no evidence about anything.
And did you notice the huge eyeglass flub in the movie?
No.
Okay, so when he first meets Cookie and she's drinking all the martinis because she's mourning the death of Nick Lang, I guess.
Right, yeah.
So she leaves, Bernard comes, rips her out, Sydney comes over, but like as he's talking to Cookie, he takes his glasses off and puts them in his pocket, and then Sydney comes over, and it's like the next shot he turns and his glasses are on.
Oh, I didn't
and they
notice
stay on
that.
the rest of the scene. I was like, whoa, that's a big one.
Nice.
You think we'd catch that? I caught it.
I think even Mrs. Fitzwaring, though, you talk about how like she's interesting. I thought she was very over the top in terms of her performance. It's just
it's 80s. It's
very much
80s
like,
melodrama.
hello, like she was like straight out of a 1940s noir movie.
Right. Okay.
Just like the way she talked.
But if everyone's like that, then that works. Maybe she's just doing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe
If
she's
everybody
doing
was that
something
overblown,
different.
right.
Yeah.
And who names their kid Cookie? Come on.
That might be a nickname. Well, they're rich. Rich people
Right,
do.
gotcha.
You know how rich people are. I mean, I wish I could be rich and do stupid stuff like that. Cookie, get over here. Bring me a cookie. All right, never mind.
Biscuit. You leave Cookie alone.
How about when he goes to the professor's house that just wants to be a teacher and assaults him in front of his family at dinner?
It gets over real quick.
Does he punch him with Sydney's fist?
Oh, I think no, doesn't he choke him with both of their hands though?
He has him and then he punches him and he knocks on that's what pushes him on the table.
Push him on the table.
And then he
yeah.
gets on the table. I mean, these kids are eating dinner, man. I mean, I get it, you're dying, you're a little, upset.
On the edge. It's also over with real quick. You see nothing else from that. It's just like
no
never mind.
repercussions, no cops looking for him.
Well done. Oh, the cops were looking for him for the murder of Gail.
Not good enough though.
Terrible, yeah.
And he's going to the spots where he would be.
Oh, she holds him captive, and like the next shot is just she's already holding the thing. Go, oh no, don't! And he's running away, and just the shots are so disconnected. There's no flow to anything.
So you have a problem. Like we already talked about the story and how you have that issue, but you also have a problem with the way it's shot.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a problem with the way it looks?
No.
Okay.
Just the way it's shot.
All right.
I like the way it's look. I like the colors, and I like the draining of the colors toward the end. I like Gail's house is very like pink, very like 80s.
Gail's house looks the most 80s of anything in that movie, and even the look of the movie in her house is so faded and kind of blown out, but just desaturated a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's in the beginning. I know I said they take out color, but that's in the beginning. It's very dark.
It's
like very
dark,
like sunlight coming in, the shadows coming in. So it was very 80s in that room when he goes in to see her, and she's putting her ornaments on that weak looking tree.
Give me a tree. It's the best we got. All right.
Yeah. Yes, this is a holiday. Well, it's around the holidays because it's supposed to be before when they take a break or something.
They're right before,
right,
Christmas time, yeah.
How about Creepy Santa? How about the guy that's in the corner?
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, hey there. Like, what? Is this guy in the movie?
How you doing? Leave it alone.
I almost feel like that guy wasn't in the movie
And they just laugh.
because they're running on the street. They're running on the street, and there are people watching them, looking at them, and I'm like, I don't think this is a close set. And I'm wondering if that dude just came up to him and said that to him.
Start hitting on Meg Ryan.
Yeah, like real creepy, like, oof. I mean, it worked, I guess. Did they have to get that guy's, they probably didn't even get that guy's permission. Like, yeah, use Creepy Santa. Who cares?
You'll never see this movie.
So I talked about how this is a remake of the original from the 40s. This is the third of 4 remakes.
That's a lot of remakes.
So Color Me Dead from 1969.
Okay.
Crank from 2006, the Jason Statham movie.
Oh, because Trank they consider that a remake?
Well, because he's somebody who,
He's poisonous. Okay.
And then Dead on Arrival from 2013. That's an indie comedy.
Okay.
Yeah. So this, I mean, because I'm watching this, I'm like, I'd redo this. Like, this is a movie that, redo and kind of make a little bit.
You can really make it your own.
But people have already tried this.
Crank though, that's a far departure from.
Well, that's an action film. I'm sure that had these notes in it, and then Jason Statham came on board, and they're like, all right, well, we're gonna switch this up. He's got to fight people midair.
Yeah, you can't be a professor anymore.
Yeah, that's weird because he had to keep shocking himself in order to stay.
He had to keep his adrenaline up in order to stay alive.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's a loose based kind of adaptation. Very loose.
Dennis Quaid doesn't have to have sex with Meg Ryan in the middle of a street to keep his adrenaline up.
He did. I know, that's stupid. Speaking of that, Dennis Quaid in the street. The shot when he's running up the street. Do you remember that shot?
Yeah, when he first gets and he runs away.
He's running at the camera. That's not him, right? That was somebody else, right?
I thought so too. I was like, that doesn't look like him.
I don't think that was him. I don't think that was him at all. And I'm like, first of all, that's not him. And why is he getting so close? You shouldn't let me know that's not him running.
Yeah. Well, they shoot. He runs up, and it's like the heat of the street is kind of distorting him. Yeah. He runs up. The frame switches to show what he's looking at while he's running, and then it goes back, and it's actually Dennis Quaid out of breath. You didn't run, Dennis Quaid.
Hollywood.
I'm not running. What? I'm not running up the street. Get my stunt double.
It's too hot. It's too hot out here. I'm wondering if the heat was just something they had to work with in the movie, or that was supposed to be part of the movie.
Maybe.
I'm wondering that, and I'm wondering the PA that had to put the tinsel all over the fan in his office, because that looked like a lot of work to do. And I love the fact that when Sydney and Dexter finally get together, they cut to a shot of the fan as if that's the tilt up pan away from the sex scene that they usually do when they show like the curtains and the wind blowing to indicate sex is happening. They go to the tinsel on the fan, and it's just like, ooh. Yeah, and then cut, and she's, on the couch asleep.
How about the fact that she's in the movie the entire time for the most part wearing a slip?
Yeah, I know. Again, that just goes to, I know what you're trying to do there. You're trying to do like a John McClane type thing. Yeah. Which is the same year, but obviously they didn't do it. They, were shooting at the same time, but stuff happens and you have no time to change. I get that. But we talk about this all the time in movies, especially older films. There's sometimes female characters are not written well, and they're not given enough stuff to do. They're just there. I mean, I get it. It's Dennis Quaid's movie. It's Dexter Cornell's film. I understand that. But still, there is the other side of it, which is surprising because you have a female director here as well. Yeah. So, but it is what it is. You can't really go back and change it. So I'm surprised you didn't like this. I thought you would enjoy the mystery element of this, the noir element of it. That's why the reason why I suggest this film is I remember seeing this movie. I always put this movie along with a movie called Shattered, which is with Tom Berenger, where Tom Berenger is trying to...
That's the movie they had the trailer for. That's it.
That movie's good.
Is it?
Yes.
Because the trailer looked really good, and then I looked it up, and I was like, I kind of want to put this on the list to watch it.
Yeah.
And it was 37%.
Because that movie, the whole mystery of that movie is what drives it. And I mean, granted, I was younger when I watched it. Mm-hmm. And when I watched it at the end, I had no idea what the hell was going on. And then when they made the reveal, I was like, oh, shit. So, but again, I was younger. I
So
mean,
it might not be good,
but it's a noir. It's a like
The
I
trailer
like
looked really
I
good,
like
right.
mystery.
Yeah.
I like noir. So even if it's not as good as another movie, I'm still going to be interested. And I actually enjoyed Shattered. And the same thing with D.O.A. I enjoyed the mystery of it. So that's what I always remember fondly of it. I agree with you about the dueling storylines and they don't fit and all that stuff. I understand all that. I know that it's not a perfect movie, but I mean, I like Dennis Quaid in general as an actor.
Well, no, I mean, I like Dennis Quaid as well, and
Yeah.
it's. I mean, he's 33. He's the same age as me
Yeah.
when he's making this movie, but he looks way older than me.
Well, that's hard living. That's hard living. 33.
Dennis Quaid.
And
Dennis Quaid has hard living.
It's real. Oh yeah, it's really. You haven't heard?
I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. He has some. It was
I
the
didn't know
80s.
that about
It was
Dennis
the 80s. Everyone had that issue.
Gotcha.
But it's tough for me to take Daniel Stern seriously
Oh yeah, he's Marv in anything I see.
because of Home Alone. I will say though that in Whip It, because Whip It, when you're able to blend comedy and drama, when you're able to be like, because his whole thing in Whip It, because that's a kind of role that Daniel Stern does well, that kind of mix of drama and comedy. Something where it's a straight drama. It's really, and he can do it. It's nothing.
Well, he's not doing a bad job,
It's
right?
not. It's exactly. It has nothing to do with him and his performance. It's just tough sometimes because you see him in Home Alone. You see him in stuff where he's goofy. That it's really tough to make that. And that has a lot of comedy actors have that issue sometimes.
Right. He's
Yeah.
really good in that. Isn't he in one where he's in the one with the Boy Scouts?
Oh yeah, but that's more of a comedy too.
That's comedy, but he's
Yeah.
good in that one
Yeah,
too.
yep,
But I
yep.
still can't really. He's still always Marv.
Yeah, no, I
It's-
hear
it's
you.
tough.
I hear you.
I mean,
But
it's not a.
but again,
that's
no,
a problem I would
listen,
love.
He's exactly. That's a problem. I think being typecast, but like, oh, nobody can take you. Well, you're still making a crap ton of money,
Yeah.
and you're still good at what you do.
You're gonna be remembered forever.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with him as an actor. It just has everything to do with my stupid way of watching a movie. and
Perception, right.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm sure a lot of people do. Like I know people probably see Meg Ryan now in movies that she's in now, where she, like when she started doing dramatic stuff like In the Cut and stuff like
Right,
that.
yeah.
People are like, that's not the Meg Ryan, because everyone's recognized her for Sleepers in Seattle.
That's not my Meg Ryan.
Right. But it's like, actors want to do different things. you
Right.
know? So yeah, no, absolutely. So but that's why I liked it. I'm very surprised that you weren't a big fan of it, which is fine.
It's
So you-
mostly- it's
go ahead.
the disconnectedness of a lot of the shots and the way it was shot
Right.
is probably my biggest complaint. And the Fitzwaring plot line is just so silly and over the top and ridiculous. I mean, there are parts of it that are stupid, that are kind of done to be funny,
Mhm.
and I like those shots and those scenes. I kind of like that blend, and I like Dennis Quaid. It's just that the disconnected, the way it was shot, I think, is my biggest complaint.
All right. Fair enough.
But it is an interesting plot.
But would you recommend it to people? No,
No,
really. See, I would still. I think if somebody I knew liked mysteries, I'd say check it out. It's not great, but check it out. It's just I don't know. Maybe I saw it when I was younger, and that's why I like it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's one of those type of films.
Well, you didn't. So you thought the same of it now than you did when you were younger.
I think the mystery, the idea of him trying to solve his own murder, still intrigues me, and I like that. I don't mind. I know you're down on the plot of the Fitzwaring stuff, which I've said before. I think them together doesn't work as well as it should, and it could be improved. But they're separate storylines. I don't mind either of them.
Mhm.
I agree with you that it is kind of like forced together. I totally didn't remember about the scene with the nail gun in the theater. That needs to be
Cut. Gone.
addressed. That's a little bit too much. But yeah, so and I like Nick Lang plays somebody who clearly has an impact on a lot of the people's lives here, and you see maybe 2 minutes of him. So
Right.
I don't want flashbacks or anything, but he probably needs to be a bigger character in the plot, in the story. Maybe you need to have a little bit more in the beginning, 15, 20 minutes. You have to have him,
Yeah.
a little bit more of him.
I like that he's not in it that much, but you just get this sense that he was someone with talent.
He affects everybody,
Right.
though, right?
Like he takes over that classroom when he's talking and
Right.
has these questions that actually kind of not excite Dexter, but get him talking too. So
Well, he's the only one in the class that's interested, almost.
exactly. And then his conversation down the hallway about, did you read my novel? Did you read my novel?
Yeah.
He's excited about writing and stuff like that in a happy way. Whereas, Hal and
Dexter.
the other professor.
Oh, I didn't even write him down.
Hal and the other professor are more like they want to be writers, but they're not happy about it. They're like,
Well, I think obviously the whole reason Hal killed though is because he wants to be a successful writer like Dexter.
oh, exactly. But
Right.
need to write is more this place of anger, this negative energy. He's got this
Right.
positive energy.
Yeah.
And then immediately he's taken out of the picture.
But
Well, so I like that he's
All
only
right.
in it for a little bit.
sweet. All right. So why don't you tell everyone where they can find us?
You can find us on ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or ForgottenEntertainment.com, as we are part of the Forgotten Entertainment family. You can also find us on the social medias at Forgotten Cinema Pod or Forgotten Cinema Podcast. We post every weekday, and we have awesome commercials, or we think they're awesome, they're funny, every Thursday. And you can find our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Please rate, review, and subscribe.
All right. So then join us next week. We're actually the week of Christmas, the week of the holiday season for people who celebrate Christmas, obviously. And we're going to be coming back with a little bit of a holiday movie. We're doing The Ref. from
Yeah.
1994. Did you see The Ref?
I have seen The Ref. I have not seen The Ref for a very long time, probably since I was in high school. So
Now, I will be much more surprised if you do not like The Ref next week. Like if you know what I mean, if you don't have a more favorable reaction to The Ref
I liked it when I saw it
than
in
you
high
did
school.
with DOA.
We'll
I'm
see
just
how,
saying,
yeah,
it's
we'll see
really
how it
good.
affects me
It's
now.
still good. It's still, I've seen it. It's still good.
So hold, okay.
Yeah. So we're doing The Ref next week, and yeah, that's it. Good luck finding DOA if you want to watch it. I got the Blu-ray if anyone wants to borrow
Yeah,
it.
you can buy it easily on Amazon. It's
Yeah,
pretty cheap.
it's just and you can also buy it in the blog post. You'll see it on the bottom. We'll probably have a little. We're an affiliate of Amazon, and yes, we
Yeah.
get money for that every time you buy it. So if you're gonna buy it anyways, you might as well buy it through us, through that click. That's the way to support the show is
It's true.
to support the affiliates that we have and the sponsors. All right, everyone, we will see you next week. I am Mike Field,
No, I'm Mike Butler.
and this has been Forgotten Cinema. Butler, have that drink. Have that radium chloride shake.
Tastes good. He drinks a lot in that movie.
Oh, he smokes and drinks like crazy.